So then just lift the toes again and lift and roll one shoulder back. Lift and roll the other shoulder back. Within your capacity, raise your arms up. If you're stiff, then bend your elbows. And just very gently sway from side to side. Come to the centre, clasp and reverse the hands upwards. Just lift the heels and then lower the heels. Stretch up and just go to one side. Come to the centre and then just go to the other side. Come to the centre. Just slightly turn. Come to the centre and slightly turn to the other side. Come to the centre. And then lower the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders again. Clasp the hands behind your back. Aim the knuckles to the floor. Open the shoulders. Choose whether you want an open weave for greater shoulder opening or whether you want to be more yogic and have the palms together. Breathing in, turn to the left. Breathe into the centre and breathing out, turn to the right. And come to the centre. And release the hands. Lift and roll one shoulder and lift and roll the other shoulder. Bring the hands to the heart. Just press the palms together and feel the stretch under the arms. And then bending the knees, slide the hands down to the shins, breathing in, half lift. Breathing out, bend in. Breathing in, half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. And then pressing the feet down, roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathe in, stretch the arms up. And then just circle the arms down. Lift and roll the shoulders. Take your bolster. This is going to be a very supportive tree. So stand on your left foot. Lift your right foot and turn it out almost to a tree angle. So Sarah, I know your balance is very good and you might prefer just to do a tree. So if you want to focus on your balance more, you can lift your right heel. If your balance isn't great, then lower your right heel. But we're actually opening the inner right groin, which you often don't do in tree because you're balancing, you tend to go in. So this is pressing the feet down, bring the hands to the heart centre, and if you want to do what Sarah's done so beautifully going up, that's fine, or if you want to go out, that's fine, whatever works for you. Or just bring the hands to the heart, or you can finger to thumb and just bring your arms out to the side. It's a subtly different movement. And then just lower the arms. Release the right leg. And then come to sway from side to side. And I was reading some research which gave 12 different ways of activating the feet. And activating the feet and using all parts of the feet helps with balance because the muscles are being stretched even if you've got useless balance. And if the muscles are stretched and you connect to the ground fully, rather than as people get older they tend to shuffle along, if you connect fully, then your muscles are being used fully and it retains fluidity both for balance physically, but also retains fluidity for the mind, and it dissolves mind patterns, which I thought makes sense, quite an interesting article. And as balance and getting older are something that can be very connected, I thought that was quite an interesting thought. So then just come to stillness. If you want to use a support, then move your bolster to the other side, and then pressing down with your right foot and just opening out to the side. Again, if you don't need the bolster, that's absolutely fine. You can put your toes on the ground, whatever works for you. And then just come to with your hands where it works for you. A balance also focuses the mind, however minimally. And again, that encourages the left and the right brain hemispheres to communicate with each other, because it requires focus. Whether you want to bring your hands to the side, whether you want to bring your hands up or in front of your heart, just choose the position that works for you. And again, you're encouraging the inner left thigh to open out more. And then just very gently release the leg. And once more, just come to sway from side to side. And then just come to stillness, lift and roll the shoulders. And with your nose, follow a horizontal figure of 8. Which way you start doesn't matter. Breathing in as you come to the top of your horizontal 8. Breathing out as your neck goes down. And your 8 can be tiny or big. You're working into the neck muscles. And on your glandular system, you're working in at the neck level with thyroid and parathyroid as you're going from side to side. This connects into your adrenals. And on the up and down movement, you're connecting into your pituitary and pineal glands. If you want to reverse your 8, please do, but then just be aware that you might go wrong, or one side requires more effort, and it reflects the brain patterns. And then just come to hands to the heart. And we're going to come to sitting down, and come, if you're able to sit in a cross-legged position, do, but if that's just too much, then don't. And I wanted to give you the theme for this class, and that is, the Sanskrit name will mean nothing to you, which is Harinama, which is accepting change, yoga for changing times, where stability is helpful because it flexes out at mind and body. So if you are able to close your eyes, please do. And just feel the points of contact on the floor. So it will be your sit bones, your ankles, your feet, backs of the legs, if you've got your legs out, and down here. And just lift the head, chin slightly to chest. You can, exceptionally, here just massage your jaw. The jaw carries a lot of tension. And then just release, hands back to the knees. And just gently come to rocking from side to side. Come to the centre, and then your cat-cow sitting up and breathing out chin to chest. Almost like a wave, sitting up as you breathe in and breathing out, cone chin to chest. Sitting up, cone in, sitting up, then come to the centre. And as you breathe in, open your arm to the left, keep it bent if that's good for you, and turn to look at your left hand. Breathe out, bring the hand back to the left knee. Sit up as you breathe in, and breathing out. You can keep your elbow bent, turn to the right, open your right hand. Come back, hand onto the knee. And a couple of times in your own breath pattern. Breathing in, opening to the side. Your gaze follows that opening. On the side. And once more to each side. And just bend your knees up, hands under the thighs. Stretch your feet out. Just bounce your legs. Stretch your toes out, curl them in a couple of times. You can rub your legs, you can tap them. And then just bend up one foot, rest the foot or the ankle on the opposite thigh, and either with your hands stretch your toes up and down, or thread your fingers through and stretch them up and down. So this is part of that stretching the foot out. Now you can also begin to stretch up and down and almost roll your ankle as well. So multitasking. So this is beginning to stretch those muscles that can contract as we get older. I don't know if you've got your thoughts, Sarah, but an explanation for me, and then just turn the other way, was that as we get older, our blood supply gets weaker, doesn't go to the heart, and so the body conserves the blood near the heart and doesn't go out to the extremities quite so much. And then people bend over because their muscles get weaker, and then with the bending over and the blood not going out, the blood, while your toenails get thick and yellow, you can get, and the blood doesn't expand out into the extremities, and then you start, instead of stretching your feet out, your feet go like that and they start to adjust, and then when you walk on the central part of your feet, which makes you vulnerable to falling over, and then change legs. And just again, almost thread your fingers through, circling in one way and then circling in the opposite direction. And then the other one, which I think is a massage movement, is when you take your foot and you just massage with your thumbs across the top, holding it underneath. It's almost stretching. I don't know what you'd call this, stretching it out.
Yeah.
So that again is supposed to be very helpful.
So that activates all the reflex points for your upper lymphatic system, because that goes down between the toes and the upper part of your foot. Yeah, and then obviously you're doing the front, you're doing the back as well, because you've got your thumbs around there as well. So it's the lymphatic system plus the lung areas at the back.
So, and then you can do the other foot as well before we come to lying on the ground with the knees bent. I just thought it was quite interesting. There are other foot exercises too, but these are some fairly simple and reasonably accessible ones to do.
I mean, anything you can do on your feet helps all your circulation and everything.
So
it's all beneficial.
And then just release, and then come to lying on the ground, knees bent, feet hip width apart. Patsy's doing a delightful forward bend. Oh, I just feel like I'm eating. And just knees bent, feet hip width apart. palms are either resting on the ground or they are resting on the abdomen. Now just start by letting the weight of the head sink into the ground and turning the head in one direction as you breathe out. You can linger here if you want to, or move straight away to bringing the head to the centre, and on an out breath let the head turn to the opposite direction. And again you can linger or just move your head in correlating to your breath. Just check your shoulders are down away from the ears. And then just bring the head back to the centre. Just raise the elbows slightly and just clasp your hands underneath your head. If you have a shoulder restriction, then bring your elbows closer together. If you haven't got a shoulder restriction, then let your elbows open out a little bit. And then just very, very gently breathing out, slightly lift up your supported head and roll your body slightly to the right. Your left hip will lift up. Your knees will kind of come down towards the right, or the left knee in particular. And then breathing in, roll back to the centre. Your head may connect to the earth. And then when you're ready, breathing out, roll to the left. Your elbows can be as close together as you need to, stretching out the upper back. Your right hip will lift off the ground, and your knees will go towards the left. And then breathing in, bring the knees back to the centre, the head back to the centre. You might want to connect your head to the earth, you don't have to. And then just a couple of times each side in your own breath pattern. You're stretching out the upper back, you're stretching out the back of the neck. You're supporting your head and neck. And then just very gently come back to the centre. Just very gently let the head reconnect to the earth. And then slide your fingers out from underneath the head. Hands back down on the floor or on your abdomen. This time your feet slightly wider towards the edges of the mat, and just very gently sway your knees from side to side. Your hips will lift off the ground. Your head might join in the movement. And you move as much or as little from side to side. And then just come back to the centre. And then just leaving your elbows on the ground, just raise your hands up towards the ceiling. Stretch your hands so fingers are up to the ceiling, and then just point your fingers towards the floor. Breathing in, fingers up to the ceiling, your elbows are resting on the ground, and breathing out, fingers away. And then gently begin to circle the wrists in one direction. The elbows relaxed on the ground. And then begin to circle the wrists in the opposite direction. And then just stretch the fingers and just curl them in. And stretch them out and curl them in. And then just let the hands rest on the body. You might like to move your elbows out to the side a little bit. So they'll really rest, I think, on the solar plexus, just below the heart. Leaving the elbows where they are as you breathe in, open the hands to the side. Breathing out, just bring the hands back to the solar plexus of the heart area. Breathing in, just let your fingers trail outwards, elbows are resting on the ground. And breathing out, just let your hands drift back. And just a couple of times to your own breath pattern. This becomes open movement of the heart. It's a breathwork exercise. It's calming for the nervous system. And it becomes a moving meditation. Connects to the element of air and the sense of touch. So there's an aspect of healing about it, healing hands, as you connect to your heart or solar plexus area. And then just rest your hands back on the body. And then keeping your right foot where it is, hug the left knee into the chest. Your right foot is on the floor, your right knee is bent. Just to join in and an out breath here. And then very gently start to circle the left knee in one direction. And then circle the left knee in the opposite direction. And your circles can be small or large. And then dropping the hands to underneath the left thigh, begin to extend the left foot up towards the ceiling. You can always keep a bend in the left knee. And begin to extend the left heel and then point the toes. Extending the heel and pointing the toes. And then when you're ready, begin to circle the ankle in one direction. And then circle the ankle in the opposite direction. And then hugging the left knee into the chest, just open the left knee to the left and place the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Hands perhaps palms down on the floor. As you just sway your knees from side to side, the knees are going in the same direction. Your hip will lift very slightly off the floor. Your eyes can be open or closed. And just very gently hugging the left knee into the chest. Still holding it, let it drift away to arm's length. And just repeat that a few times to your own breath pattern. Hugging the left knee into the chest. Still holding it, let it drift to arm's length. And then very gently support the left leg underneath to place the left foot on the floor. Palms down as you just very gently sway the knees from side to side. And then keeping the left foot where it is, bring your attention to the right side as you hug the right knee into the chest. Just let the body settle. And then very gently start to circle the right knee in one direction. Your circle can be small or it can be large. Freeing off the hips socket, the movement of the upper leg, thigh bone in the hip socket. Very gently reverse that circle, moving in the opposite direction. And then drop the hands underneath the right thigh and just very gently extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. You can keep a bend in the knee and extending the right foot, pointing the right toes, just a few times. And then, I said circling, didn't I? So your toes up and toes down to the floor, and then circling, just moving the right foot, how you feel for a few times. And then bending the right knee into the chest, hugging it in and letting it drift away to arm's length. Just do that a few times. And very gently open the right knee to the right ankle on the left leg, palms down, and just gently sway the knees from side to side. The hip will gently lift off the ground a little bit. And then hug the right knee into the chest. Hug the left knee into the chest. And just rock from side to side. Come to the center and breathing, you're hugging both knees into the chest, breathing in. Raise the left leg up to the ceiling and the left arm behind you. Extending the left heel if you need to, and your left arm can be as bent or as stretched out as you want it to be. And then when you're ready, think about hugging the left knee back into the chest. Just rock from side to side before thinking about coming to the right side, hugging the right knee into the chest, and now as you breathe in, extending the right leg and the right arm behind, chin to chest. You can stay here for a moment, or then when you're ready,
On the next out breath, hug the right knee into the chest. And just gently rock from side to side. And again, left leg, left arm, stretching out. Breathing out, hugging the left knee into the chest. And breathing in, right arm, right leg. And then breathing in, hugging the right knee into the chest. And just very gently rocking from side to side. So Patsy, when you said that you wanted to come forward, this is an upside down child. So it's not quite the same, but it reverses that forward movement. And then very gently supporting the legs underneath to place one foot and then the other foot down on the floor, and then slide one leg and the other leg out onto the mat. And then breathing in, raise the right arm. You can bend it at the elbow if you need to. Stretch the right leg and the right under the arm. But do bend the elbow if you need to. And then breathing out, lower the right arm and just relax the right leg. And then breathing in, extend the left heel and left arm goes above you. And then breathing out, lower the left arm and relax the left leg. As you raise your right arm this time and extend your right leg, turn your head to the left. Take an in and an out breath here. When you're ready to, and you next breathe in, bring the head back to the center. And again, when you're ready to, and the next exhalation, lower the right arm and relax the right leg. And again, extending the left heel. When you're ready, raise the left arm up above you. Relax the back of the hand on the ground, bend your elbow as much as you need to, and turn the head to the right. Breathing in, bringing the head back to the center. And when you're ready, as you breathe out, lower the left arm and relax the left leg. And then extending both heels, raise both arms, they can be bent. Stretching up above you, you can join hands and just slightly move from side to side with the hands, just a slight lateral stretch. Come to the center when you're ready, and then breathing out, lower both hands back down to the ground and just release both legs out to the side. Just circle your ankles a couple of times in one direction, and then circle the ankles a couple of times in the opposite direction. And then bend the knees, one knee and then the other knee, feet are on the ground. Hands, palms down, and a couple of pelvic tilts just to move along the lower back, along the lumbar vertebra, massaging it. And then release and relax. And then you're going to come to relaxing. So whether you choose to come into a classic Shavasana, or whether you choose to have your knees bent, feet hip width apart, or whether you choose to have your knees bent, feet wider than hip width apart, and your knees touching, I'm going to come up just to go through a very simple yoga nidra. But before we do that, I'm going to invite you to think of your sankalpa. So that is your thought for the day. That can be for yourself or someone close to you.
And having thought that thought, then just let the thought go. And this particular, very gentle, it's a very small intro to Yoga Nidra, which is a deep relaxation, almost sleep, but you don't sleep normally. Comes from the Tantras, meditations from the Tantras. And it's from the Bihar School of Yoga, which is very iconic in all kinds of healing. I dip into the Bihar School quite a lot. So this is a short relaxation. Make yourself comfortable. Adjust what you need to. And become aware of the whole body, the parts of you that are connecting to the ground, the texture of the clothing on the skin. And now become aware of where the right heel is touching the floor, connecting to the right heel. Move your attention to the left foot and connect to where the left heel touches the floor. Where the right calf muscle, if you've got your feet extended, connects to the floor, or just your right calf muscle. And your left calf muscle. Become aware of the right hamstring, left hamstring, the right buttock and the left buttock, the right shoulder blade and the left shoulder blade, right hand and left hand, right elbow, left elbow, back of the head. Concentrate on the meeting points only where the body and the ground touch each other. Now concentrate where the two eyelids meet. The meeting point where the eyelids touch the two eyes. Move your consciousness now from the eyelids to the meeting points of the lower and the upper lips. And become aware now of your breathing. Focused on your left nostril as you breathe in. And follow the breath to a point in the centre of the head, you imagine it. And as you breathe out, have an awareness of breathing out through your right nostril. Breathe in again through the right nostril to the point in the centre of the head. And breathe out through the left nostril. And again, breathing in through the left nostril to a point in the centre of the head. Breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right, to the centre of the head. Breathe out through the left. In through the left. Out through the right. In through the right. And out through the left. And just do a couple of breaths to your own breath pattern. And then let the breath float away and come to your resolve again, your sankalpa. And just mentally connect to that sankalpa. Repeating that wish for yourself or for somebody else. Again. Then let that go. And then imagine seeing your face as you'd see it in a mirror, and see your whole body lying on the floor. And just watch yourself for a few seconds. And then when you're ready, come to let that image of yourself, your face, go. And the practice of Yoga Nidra is now finished. And you can either stay lying on the floor while I read you a thought for the day, or you can come to a seated position, whatever or whichever you prefer.